Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I wanted to start a new palette series. I know this is very abrasive and upfront, but I want to just start. I want to start this right now. So I've been thinking about doing this eyeshadow palette series for a really long time where I pick up really old palettes or, palettes that aren't talked about a lot, I guess, anymore or weren't, period, and doing at least one look on them, whether that's like a glam look or a neutral look or both. Just to see the versatility of the palette and give you my overall thoughts on them. Maybe whether I'm keeping it or not, I don't know. Should I add that in? Comment down below. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Urban Decay Aphrodisiac palette. So this is a 6 shadow palette that I actually bought for traveling because I really liked the shades when I saw it online. You can see on the back we have just like kind of one base shade, a crease shade, and then all of these other shades we can work with and have fun with. But when I got it in person, they're kind of a little bit, well, the base shade is just like a little bit too dark for my fair skin tone, but you know what, you're gonna see this look done in its entirety in just a moment. I just want to disclose that we are still working on the lighting situation and the setup situation, so this is not the final setup you're gonna be seeing. We're still working on it. I know I'm using like this lighted mirror and it reflects off my glasses, but that's okay. And yeah, so tune in to see the Aphrodisiac palette and this look, which actually pairs quite well with my lipstick and my glasses. I think this looks really cute, so keep watching. Oh, look at this. Isn't this so beautiful? Just that casing on the Aphrodisiac palette. Alright, so we have some shades in here. They actually look a little bit warmer in person. I think these lights are just washing out, which I'm getting the lighting situation fixed, guys. Don't worry about that. But I actually really like the colors in this, and I think I have an idea of the look that I'm doing. The only thing that I don't like about this palette is there's only one matte dark shade, and it's like, I don't know, it's more of like a cool toned, really dark brown. I'll see if let's see if I have to dip into another palette to get a different brown. I'm just gonna go and start doing my eyeshadow. Alright, so I got a couple of these new Morphe brushes. I think this is the one that, I think this has to be one of the ones that James Charles just came out with. This is the M456. It's like the 433, which I have right here, except it's really small and it's really good for those with like tiny eyes. Like, I have really tiny eyes. I don't have a lot of lid space, I feel like, you know, between I have tiny eyes. Like, I have a lot of space between my crease and my brow, but you know, on my actual eyelid I don't have a lot. So let's try that out. So I actually don't have any concealer or eyeshadow primer on here. I don't normally wear it. It's just my personal preference, but I'm gonna start by going into this lightest shade, which is called Sheets, and just patting it all over my lid. So first I'm gonna go on the lid, and then I'm gonna kind of like drag it out upward toward my brow. Another thing that I don't really like about this palette is that it doesn't have like a highlighting shade. Like, it has this pretty copper in the center here, but like it's not very light, so I feel like this might be suited better for a little bit darker skin tones than mine. Obviously I'm like incredibly fair, but we're gonna make it work. Alright, so I am going to dip my never before used Morphe M456 brush into the shade Beyond. This is the one, really the only crease shade in here. Like, let's be real here. But I'm gonna start by like packing this in. Okay, this brush is more of like a blending brush, I guess. Let me grab a crease brush. Alright, so this is the Ulta Beauty crease brush. That's literally, it doesn't have a number or anything. I'm just gonna take it and start packing it in my crease. Okay, that's working much better. I'm actually gonna start blending out with the M433. I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of the crease shade and just start blending it out over here and then up. Great, so I'm gonna try something a little new and go into the shade Whiplash. This is the darkest shade over here, and I'm just gonna try to lightly pack this over here. And you can see I'm just like being very, very gentle with it. I just don't want to get too much in there, and I'm bringing it a little bit above my crease, as you can see, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It could be a little bit messy. You know, we're just hanging out and trying something new. Alright, so now that I have that laid down and it looks pretty terrible, I'm going to take the M456 brush. It has a little bit of that beyond the crease shade that I had in before, so I'm just going to try to blend this out with this brush using that shade, just so we can diffuse this out a little bit. And then I'll go back in with more of that dark shade, but first I just want to get like this shape blended out. Just gonna take a little bit more of that on the M433 and just like pack it in here a little bit. Just like a little bit softer, I guess. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. So that first carving step is important, just so we have like that little line. If you could kind of like still see it, but there's no like line of demarcation where I initially like laid it down. So it was a lot easier to blend out, but still like keep the shape without, you know, like completely destroying the look. So let's do that on the other side. Alright, so I'm liking how this is looking so far. I think I'm just gonna go back into that crease shade Beyond and just start like packing it in right here so we can prepare ourselves for this halo eye. So I'm just gonna take this and start blending inward from the inner corner, and also start blending inward from the outer corner, just so we get like a really nice blend into the center of the eyelid. So now I'm just taking a little bit of that initial base shade Sheets and I'm gonna blend out toward my brow bone, just so we get a nicer, less veiny blend up there, because I didn't use base. I just like to cover the veins up there with that base shade. Alright, so I'm finding that that dark shade is just a little bit patchy, but it's definitely workable, and I don't personally think it's going to be that noticeable through my glasses. So I'm going to take the shade Night Fever. It's just the center coppery shade here. I'm just going to take it initially on my finger. Okay, let me just swatch that here. Okay, it's like pretty dry and chalky. Oh, I don't like that. I feel like Urban Decay's formula is usually really good on their metallics, but let's just try to like lightly pack it on and see what happens. And I'm not using concealer or anything to boost this up. I'm just playing with the shade right now, just seeing what I can do. Okay, I feel like this was more of like a glitter shade than a shimmer shade, but I made it work. And we're gonna never touch that again. Until our lower lash line, that is. Of course, we have to replicate the lower lash line. Okay, so for the highlighting and center shimmer topper shade, I think I'm going to go into my Tarteist Pro Glow palette and just grab a highlighting shade from there. And it's going to be the same one I'm using on my face, so it's going to kind of create some consistency throughout everything. So let me grab that real quick. Alright, so the shade I'm going into is Strobe. This is on the right side. It's just the lightest shade in there. It's my favorite highlighting shade, period, from anyone. And I'm going to use this tiny mirror that comes in there and just brush that on. I might try to put a little bit more on after I set my face with some setting spray, just so it sticks a little bit better. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that instead. But I am going to, actually, let me just use that same brush. I'm going to spray it with a little bit of Morphe's Continuous Spray, Setting Spray, Continuous Setting Mist. Okay, sure, whatever, I botched that. So I'm just going to take that on the M456. Just to wet it a little bit so we can pick up that shade a little bit better. So I'm going to go into that again and just try to get a good application on the center of my lid. I like how that looks a lot. Okay, I'm gonna do that on the other side. Alright, so now I'm gonna go back into this Night Fever glitter shade and just start to try to blend this back on. Okay, yeah, that's working really well. I'm just gonna blend this back into the center. So now I'm gonna try to get the integrity back into this crease by just going over the top here with this Beyond that crease shade again. Okay, pretty. I feel like that just removed all the hard work we put into that. Not fun. Let me go back into that highlighting shade again. I like how that looks. So let me just replicate that on the other side. Okay, cool. So now that I like how this looks on the top, I am going to finish off my face makeup off camera and come back to finish the lower lash line and the rest of my eye makeup. So I'll be right back. Alright, so my face makeup is mostly done, but I wanted to give you guys the satisfaction of watching me put on my highlighter. So I'm gonna go set my face. Alright, so I'm gonna wave that almost completely dry, and while it continues drying, I'm gonna apply my highlighter. So I'm gonna go back into the Tarte Pro Glow palette and take this strobe shade right up in here on my brow bone. Okay, that's so much better now. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, it is so pretty. I'm just gonna take it once again right over my eyelid. So pretty. And I'm gonna apply it to my face real quick. So I'm using this It Cosmetics blending highlighter brush, I believe it's called. It might have rubbed off. Okay, so this is the It Cosmetics number 223 highlight and blending brush. I don't like to use the traditional fan brushes for my highlighter just because I feel like it concentrates it in one area too much, and I like to blend it out, and I like it to blend it down into my blush too, so that my face just looks dewy and beautiful. You can't really see it in the camera. It is so gorgeous. I love the shade so much. It suits my pale skin, like my fair skin, so well. I love it so much. Alright, so we are gonna finish up the lower lash line and do mascara, eyeliner, and maybe some lashes. So let's do it. Alright, so first I'm gonna go into this Whiplash shade, the darkest matte shade, with a Morphe M421 brush. It's really just like a really tiny flat brush. But I like to take it as like a precision brush and just carry it down. Now I'm gonna use this shade really sparingly since we blended it out really nicely on the top. So I'm just gonna put like, I think that much is really good, especially because we're gonna blend it into the crease brush too, or the crease shade too. I'm just taking that right along the lash line. I don't want this to be taken too low. Because you can already see it's kind of like, just this dark shade is like bringing my eyes down where I want my eyes to be like bright and looking, not looking up, but like not so droopy. So I'm going to go in with the M456 brush by Morphe into that crease shade called Beyond, and I'm just going to start to blend it toward the center and then blend back out into this darker shade. And you can see by doing that, we're kind of recreating the tones that we got on the lid. Okay, that's pretty. That's really pretty. Alright, so now I'm going to go into that glitter, the Night Fever shade, and start like just tapping, really lightly tapping it along here just because I have my face makeup done and I don't want a lot of fallout, which I actually haven't gotten a lot of fallout with this palette at all. But you're not going to want to bring it like completely into the inner corner. Just along like between the center and the inner corner, but not quite to the inner corner. Okay, that looks really pretty. So now I'm gonna go into the highlighter shade by Tarte again, just to highlight that inner corner and pull everything together. So I think we are done. We are done with eyeshadow. Let me grab an eyeliner real quick. All right, I'm taking the IT Cosmetics Superhero one. Alright, and I'm going to finish off this look by curling my lashes and going in with my favorite Tarte Gifted mascara. I love this stuff. Alright, so this is the finished look. I think it turned out really nice. My final thoughts on the Aphrodisiac palette is that it's not very versatile. I feel like it would be really easy to create like a neutral look with it, but definitely not for everyday use. And I think it's really overpriced for what you get. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you really love the shades and you really, really want them and you want like a nice little travel size palette with those shades in it specifically. But I want to thank you guys for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!